Hey, it's Noah here, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the next step and the last interaction when it comes to leads. Right now we're looking at the current leads view within the lead table. This is the first thing I pull up in the morning, and the things I want to see is I want to see what's the next step that I have to do with a particular lead, what was the last thing I did with them, what are those appropriate dates, as well as, of course, the status of that lead. But the thing that has always bugged me is the next step note and the last interaction note actually pulls in all of the data. I never knew in Airtable how to do this properly. I figured it out, and so I want to show you here. So what I would end up doing usually is, say for AAA Best Chiropractic, if I wanted to see the interactions, I either have to go into the interactions table, find that lead, and then kind of read these notes here, or I'd have to go and open them up from within here and say, okay, on the 21st, I had a call. He needs another couple days to talk. And then on the 22nd, I had an email, and I need to send him a proposal. Okay, that's too cumbersome, though. I want to see it in one view very, very quickly. Here you can see, obviously, it's showing two different next steps, two different last interactions. Let's figure out how to do this. So let's go first to the lead interactions table. I'm going to create a new field called most recent interaction date. And this is actually going to be a lookup field that's going back to the leads table. And we're going to grab the last interaction date. And I know some of this is not going to make that much sense, but you know what? I'm just showing you how to do this within your own Airtable base, because this will be all set up for people that download this new, and I want you to have it as well. So we've now referenced the most recent interaction date. And now we're going to do most recent interaction note. And this one's actually going to be a formula. And we're going to say that if the most recent interaction date equals the date, which is actually a field in this table, then we're going to display the interaction notes. Okay, let's see if this is going to work. Okay, great. So AAA Best Chiropractic, we've had two interactions with them, and so the most recent interaction date is the 22nd. We've already calculated that, but because this is the actual record here, the 22nd, it's going to pull it here. Okay, great. And the last thing we have to do is then on the lead tracking. So here we're going to change this field. So instead of this just being a lookup to here, we're actually going to look up, instead of interaction notes, we're going to look up the most recent interaction note. Ah, so much better. So now it's all done. Now we're pulling in just the last interaction. So let's do this again, but now for the next step. So I'm going to add another one here. It's going to be most recent next step date. Okay. And it's going to be a lookup field. We're going to look it up from the lead table. We're going to pull in the next step date. And now, same thing, we're going to insert left, most recent next step note, a formula. And we'll say if the most recent next step date equals the next step date, show the next step. So yeah, there's been a couple of interactions, but the next step date, the most recent one, was 12:30, and it's going to be call him. Let's go into lead tracking, and again, we're going to change the next step note. Instead of just looking up all these next steps, we don't want that. We want the most recent next step note. Perfect. And then finally, is within this lead interactions table, we actually could hide all of these. I'm going to hide this because we actually don't care about seeing that data within this table because we're seeing the summary here. So this to me looks very, very clean and clear. So I start, just like I do every day, opening up this table. Hey, what are my current leads? What are the statuses? What needs to happen next? I can see very quickly that, hey, this person here, they've scheduled a triage. Next step is to call them on 12/31. Last thing we did, we had a good call, and I sent them the proposal. Doesn't actually make sense because the actual status here should be client is deciding on the proposal. But that's fine. This is all fake data anyway. But so for people that have yet to download the Agency X-Ray tracker, you're going to have these all built in. For those that now want to use this better way of seeing the data, you now have the instructions to do that. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks so much.